right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I am your host here, Chantele Francis, and here with me I have my lovely co-host, Miss
Michelle Nash.
Whoop, whoop. And we are here live on YouTube to talk about, this episode, the first live episode of Big Brother Season 22 All-Stars. Woo. Oh my God, it was actually very, very exciting. I've been loving the season so far, but if it's your first time on this channel, make sure you subscribe right down below. We're all about reality TV and all the gossip that goes along with it. But today, we're talking about the TV show that's close to my heart. That's Big Brother. How did you like this episode, Michelle, since it's fresh?
I mean, the thing is, I'm so happy to finally have a season where I can feel some of that nostalgia and joy for the show that I used to feel that I haven't necessarily felt the past few seasons. And while I'm not necessarily pleased with where the power lies right now in general, it was a great episode still. And there's so much to love. So much to love.
It's kind of like, I've been saying it a lot this past week. I just correlate summertime with Big Brother and when we weren't having it. And like, I know things are very different, pandemic, social distancing, like self-isolating, masks, like everything's different this summer. But whenever it's hot out, I just think Big Brother, like it's something that's been for the last 20 something years. And so it's just been feeling really good to have it back. And especially to have it back with a lot of faces that I didn't ever think I was going to see again on the screen. And yeah, some of my favorite characters. But let's just rewind a little bit before we get back to tonight's episode. Let's go back to yesterday's. I haven't really talked about yesterday's episode yet. So episode 3, basically Kevin and Keisha are nominated. They didn't win the veto. Enzo won the veto. How did you feel about Kevin? The whole veto, how'd you go?
Yeah, I mean, I follow the feed, so I knew that Enzo was going to win. But what I didn't know was that Kevin could have easily won if he had just left it at 19 and sat back on his thing. Like, he was so close to winning. So that was upsetting to watch because Kevin was and is really good at competitions. And the fact that like, it was so sad to watch Kevin choose Enzo after trying to get so many people to like vouch for him and no one was biting and no one wants to do anything. And then like his best bet is Enzo because I guess Enzo was the nicest to him. And like, there's no way Enzo was ever going to use it on him. So it was sad.
And the thing is too, is like, I would have taken the risk that, you beat Enzo, you're in the lead at this point, and then all the pressure was just going to be on Keisha because I think it was just the two of them that were left at that point. Am I right?
Yeah.
So it may have looked as though she has some big tower, but when we were seeing the numbers, it's like she only had 15 at the most. And so when he got to 19, I was like, Kevin, just lock in. Don't try to be a hero here. Just lock in, because at least for a moment that you have it. And so I was really sad for him, but I thought that it was a miscalculation on his part. I thought
1,000%, like, it could have been prevented, and that's what's sad about it to me is like when you make that mistake and you could have prevented it, it just makes it worse.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Now, I like Kevin. I didn't want Kevin and Keisha to be up on the block at all. But that was what the reality was. And I just feel though that how he was kind of campaigning to people, I didn't like it. Like nobody actually has been giving any like solid game reasons as to why they should stay. Like, don't be like, oh, like you're the cool guy, I don't want to go up. Like, I just felt that he was just using kind of a little more emotional manipulation to kind of get people to feel sorry for him, as opposed to like making people want to be working with him, not just saving him. You know what I mean? How do you feel about his game strategy?
I definitely agree with that. And I think, and leading into this episode too, I think both of them really had issues with campaigning. And while Kevin tried harder to speak to many people, it was a little bit like, I'm in this bad position. There were points where he, you know, with like Nicole A, like that's a real bond that he's created with her, but that's like one person. And I don't know, it's complicated. Keisha, it's just so disappointing to see her not be in a great position. She would have had to come out of the gates running. I guess it's just hard for her because a lot of these newer players don't remember her, which is like so horrifying to me because she's iconic,
Mhm.
iconic. Who Wants Cake, iconic. Like she's everything to me. So, and I love the idea of her and Janelle working together and everything, and these like moms just like killing it. So I don't know. I wish that they had both been a little bit more strategic with their campaigning.
I mean, I think that if I were Keisha, or even if you were Keisha in that exact same position, both of us would have stayed in the house, like undoubtedly.
I mean, it's hard to say, but yeah, I definitely would have tried harder.
You would have made it be them see the value in keeping you. And I think that the only thing that I felt that they were seeing is that keeping Keisha was weakening Janelle. And so they weren't really seeing anything other than weakening Janelle. Like Janelle has so much power, Janelle. But I think that if I were Keisha, I would be showing like at least how, you know, if you have Janelle, she has is a number, like she's not going after you. Like I don't win things, so you'll be more likely to win stuff if I'm playing in something. And I have influence on Memphis. Like I have some people that I'm not a floater. If I'm on your team, like I will ride with you. Like, there's just so many points that she could be saying to champion with people to feel confident with keeping her, even with Janelle in the game. Like Janelle's going to be in the game no matter what. So like, why don't you have somebody that at least can maybe corral her a little bit or have her work with you a little bit than having wild card Kevin, who's good at competitions. And I don't know if it was showed, I don't think it was shown in the episode, but Janelle, some of her points that she was making in support of Keisha staying was that Kevin made up a lie in his season in order to get out Big Jeff. And so he can be ruthless in the sense that he will stop at nothing to move forward. And so just kind of putting out there that he might not be as loyal or as somebody that you can rely on as much. And so I thought Janelle made some great points, but they needed to come from Keisha for them to land.
Yeah, Janelle definitely campaigned way more for Keisha than Keisha did. But again, we didn't really see that on the episode. That was just more if you were reading the feeds, you would have known that. But they didn't show much of it in the episode.
They didn't show a lot in the episode. I thought that they might have painted a little bit more of what has been going on with Janelle, in my opinion.
There's been so much surrounding her. It's crazy. Like
I'm feeling actually kind of, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, it seems like everyone's so against her for no reason. Like
it's really unfortunate, and it's actually like a reverse bullying kind of like it's a bullying scenario that they are blaming her for things that she doesn't do, and then people are doing things and blaming it on her, and she doesn't even know that she's taking all these hits. Like, so for instance, all last night, they didn't show this in any of the episodes, so maybe it'll be in a future episode, but I don't know, it's happened already, so it's not really spoilers, right?
No.
I'm asking. Okay. So basically, Janelle had said, okay, I'm done with campaigning for Keisha. She's doing a bad campaign job. Like, I'm not going to be trying harder for her to stay than she is. It's bad for me. And she's like, I also heard, I think a caser told her that the votes are not going to be for Keisha. They're going to be for Kevin to stay. And so Janelle was like, okay, no problem. Then Davon comes around and says that she is 100% voting for Keisha, and Bailey was saying like, well, I'll vote for Keisha if that's what the numbers are. And then Christmas comes over and it's like, yeah, let's, like, I'm voting for Keisha. Let's keep the women together. And so Janelle's like, oh, like I thought we didn't have anybody that was voting for Keisha. And then Davon would go and run back to, we'll say, Cody and be like, Janelle's at it again. She's rallying votes for Keisha. She keeps on going. She's making up lies, saying that, you know, that Christmas, saying that, like, she's just, so Janelle is believing that there's a chance that Keisha can stay because people are saying that she has their vote. And she's like, well, would you vote for her? And they're like, absolutely. And so she's like, well, then why don't we make it happen? Why do we need to go and do what the head of household wants to do? Like, if we have the votes, why don't we do what we think is better for us? But none of them are saying that it's not better for them, that they want to keep Kevin. They've been just lying to her and then allowing her to be campaigning for votes and then saying that she's working so hard. Like, why is she working so hard to try to keep Keisha and then making her look bad in front of Kevin now, being like, oh my God, you're trying so hard to get me out.
Oh, but it's to paint an enemy of her so that even Kevin's against her. So that like everyone is like literally she has no allies except for Kesar. Like Bailey likes her, but none of them.
But she listens to Davon, and I don't. Do they say
she has that alliance with Cody, right? And who is it?
Cody, Memphis, Tyler. Wait, there's a couple of alliances. Sorry, which one?
No, the 4-person. It's Davon, Bailey, Cody, and
Enzo. I think.
And Enzo. Sorry, that's the guy I was thinking of.
I mean, that's kind of good for her because they want them as a meat shield in front of them. So like that's a good strategy. But I think what's the problem here is that Davon has gotten maybe a little bit cocky with people saying that she has a really good read on situations. So in her 2 seasons, she was able to call out some truths before anybody else saw them. She spoke out too soon and it ended up biting her in the butt. But I think that she feels confident in her read, but she is completely reading everything and everyone wrong. And it's just really frustrating, especially when she's lying about Janelle, and Janelle's not doing anything. Like, she really isn't. From what I've seen on the feeds, she's not like targeting anybody. She's just like laying out facts and just be like, well, why don't we do this? And people are like, why is she coming after me? Why is she like, I don't know. It's just been really, really
every time I read the feeds, it's just people saying like, I don't trust Janelle at all. Oh my God, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, she literally has nobody now. Like, and she's a shield for you right now. Like, she's a target. What's going to happen once she gets, if you get her out this, like next week, what's next? You get her and Kesar out, what's next? Like, you need to have protection in that way. You have this giant alliance now, which is like blobs. It's like 3 off little weird blobs. Like there's the 6 and there's this 4 and then there's this and whatever. It's like, okay, cool. But you know that those people are going to end up screwing you over. And if you have someone like Janelle, that's always going to be another target. So like, I just wish that it's so frustrating. I feel like the OGs aren't even trying to work together.
Sorry, say it again.
The older school people aren't even trying to work together.
Well, I think that fell apart with Danny, because Danny is, I mean, okay, I'm praying to the gods that it's just a show and that Danny is actually being loyal to Janelle, but is making it appear. I just want her to be making it appear that she's not with her. Because when she talks to Janelle, they vibe, and like Janelle was there comforting her. Danielle kind of got upset because David and a couple other people were saying that she was mean, and her jokes that she makes are actually mean. And so Danny got upset by people saying that about her. And so Janelle was comforting her and be like, you know, we like, people get upset with us because like we're funny, like, you know, she's just making her feel better. And so the fact that she's just gonna throw that all away and just bash her, it's just I'm just not happy.
Yeah, because I wish she was lying, but the thing is that she is the one who's like actively trying to get her out. Like, I don't know. And she actively says bad things about her. So I don't watch enough. I don't watch the feeds constantly to know for sure, but I hope that things can change somehow. But now Danielle is deep in this alliance and she's so with the guys and she's like, gotta protect my guys. So bye.
Oh, another thing that Davon was saying about her is she's like, well, you know, that Janelle just wants to be the last girl standing. And I'm like, have you never watched any of her seasons? Like, that's actually not her MO at all. Like,
it never, the other women always want to get rid of her. She never, no. She's always trying to work together with the women. Like, she's always trying to, it just never works out for her.
And like, I don't know if you've seen some of the moments with Nicole A, and like she's doing her makeup for her and stuff like that, and like talking, and like, you know, Nicole's like, oh my God, like Janelle's doing my makeup, and then they had a little bit of like a strategy talk, and Janelle said to her, and I think Janelle really wants to work with Nicole and being like, saying like, well, I would love to keep Keisha and whatever, for whatever reasons. And Nicole A went directly and told Davon and Kevin about it. And I'm like, why?
Because it's just ammo.
Say again?
Anyone wants, like, that's what people want. People like Nicole, who's a kind of a bottom feeder vibe, no offense, like those kind of people take those personal moments and they're like, yes, okay, now I can say this because they're going to think I'm loyal because I'm telling them what someone else is saying. Like that's, and I get that strategy, right? Because if they find out this person said it and it's like, oh, why didn't you tell me? So it's like, you want to get ahead of it and be like, oh, because it makes you seem good that you're like useful to the alliance. Because otherwise it's like, well, this person's useless. Like that's why David's not in any real alliances at all, because like all these alliances are happening and everyone's just forgetting about David and being like, oh, we'll use him for numbers when we need him, because he's just not, you know?
Well, he's useless for sure. And like, I've said it many times, as much as I think that he deserves to have a second opportunity to play Big Brother, I don't think that this was the game for him. I think it's a little bit of a disservice to put him in this game where there's zero chance that he's going to win the game. Like, no. like not even a 0.01%. Like there's no chance in my eyes that any of those players are going to give him the $500,000 prize. I
know already based on gameplay alone right now, he's doing terribly. He's not in any alliances. He is like one of the only people from what I've seen. Maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, I think that there's been some sort of POC kind of alliance, or like just maybe, you know, there's the Black Girl Magic. And I think that both Davon and Bailey might have said like, oh, we'll bring in like Nicole A and Kevin and David. So I nothing's been solidified though, but I think that's been like kind of in a talk, or maybe they're just saying like, okay, well, we have like, we'll all vote together. So maybe it's just like assuming that's a number for them or something like that. But he's kind of been talked about to being in a number, but like, he's so expendable that like, I don't even know, he doesn't even know what to do. He's so lost. I mean, he's the first time he's voted. What?
And also, like, he's on a season with all-stars. Like, he is not an all-star. I agree he deserves another chance, but he's not an all-star. Like, that's, you know. Like, so I think he'll stay for a little bit, because what's the point of getting rid of him right now, I guess. But, yeah, there's no way he'll win.
Yesterday's episode, there was a tender moment, and I was just hoping that it just played through, like it just penetrated Davon's brain when she was talking with Kaysar and he was talking about 9/11 and his son. And, like, I got teary-eyed thinking about like what his experience has been and what it means for him to be there. And I'm just like, these are real moments. This is why we watch these shows with these real people. And it just grosses me out that isn't valued enough for them to want to keep him in the house. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like these days people don't take those things. They take it all so much more as strategy, because they're all, you know, it's their second time, and like no one wants anything that someone says it's emotional. It's like it's separate from the game. As she said, oh, this is even separate from the game, but like that is the game. It is social like that. But I just think that, you know, the people that they already know right now that have been in the Big Brother community more recently, like it's always going to be way harder to backstab someone like that than it is going to be someone whom, yeah, might be an older and well-known player, but like you're so much more far removed from them, and it's a good move for you to get rid of someone epic, so who cares kind of thing. And I don't know.
So I mean, both of us love strategy. And it's what I feel like is happening with everybody else in the house right now is that they are creating the boogeyman. Like they are making Kaysar and Janelle are these insane people that are going to snipe your mind and shimmer you and make you do things and lie and like all these crazy things. And they're just like actually just sitting there being like, so do you like, who do you want to vote for, Kaysar? Like that's all they're doing, but they've kind of just embellished what they're capable of and created a big bad monster.
Exactly. Like it's so sad because I love them so much. But at this point, considering the fact that like they don't have the safety, they already used up their safety suite, you know, they didn't win the HOH. So literally, like, it's going to be rough for them. And I don't see a way out for them to make it past this like iffy middle, like beginning point where like no one wants to take a stand against anything. And people are always going with the house and stuff when there's this many people. And I don't know. I don't see it. I really want something magical to happen so that like hopefully she just wins all the vetoes and then wins HOH next week or whatever the case may be. But I think she's going to be a target every time. And I think that everyone's going to find ways to try to like backdoor her or whatever.
It's so funny though, because she's so transparent in what she wants.
I know.
Like, she's not sneaky. She likes things to be clear and obvious and like, this is who I'm going for. These are who my targets. Like, she's not a sneaky player. And so the fact that they're making her out to be some sort of secret, sneaky snipe, she's not even that good at strategy. Like, she's very obvious about what she is. She usually draws the line in the sand and she's like, that is my enemy. That's who I'm going for. And it's just clear. That's it.
Exactly. Like, she's not like she can flirt and she can lie and all those things, but like not when it comes to like actual alliances that she makes. Like, all these other people are way sneakier. And like, I don't know, man. And the fact, like, think about this. Cody is in this 6-person alliance that Memphis has sort of created or whatever. And it's not even with his one of his final twos, Enzo. And now he's in another 4-side alliance with Enzo and Davon and Bailey, which he's like, yeah, this is a good side alliance. Meanwhile, Nicole F's in the 6. She's also in a thing with Ian. She's also, and then meanwhile you have Tyler. Like, they're all in so many alliances.
And Janelle's in none.
And Janelle is not, and she said to a lot of people, hey, I want to work with you. She's not trying. She is trying with like almost everyone in different ways. But like, people are either lying to her and saying yes, or they're not really biting for a real alliance. And it's like, everyone's playing kind of scared. Everyone wants that protection right now. They want those numbers.
If they were smart though, having Janelle on your side is better than not having her in the game. Like, there's always, she's such a shiny target. And I don't think that you would get any credit for getting her out of the game at this early in the game when she, like, it just, I don't think that it's like that, ooh, you got Janelle out of the game. She hasn't been dangerous yet. Like, she's been just like a little lamb that's like just sent to slaughter right from the beginning. Like, her and Kaser had so many people just against them from the beginning, and they from the very second they walked into that house, they had the target.
And they didn't even have a friendship outside the house. Like in the past decade, like they haven't even been that tight. Like, obviously they were going to have each other's back. I get it. But like, all these other people have way more, like just as much relationships between each other. Like, Nicole has known Ian for 5 years. Nicole played with Cody. They have a relationship. This person with like this, like, there's so many different things happening. And like, you've seen Nicole F lie to all these people. Like, Nicole F has screwed Davon over, literally voted her out. And she's already being like, I don't know about Nicole, but you don't trust Janelle. Janelle's never screwed you over. You have no reason to not trust her right now in this game. And you already have not reason to trust Nicole F.
And I'm just always wondering, like, why are they not looking at other targets? Like, if I were in the game, I would be thinking a little bit like Janelle. I would be in an alliance with Janelle. I would be riding that way, and she'll help me get all the way to final 6 and have other alliances within there. If somebody else wants to take her out, fine. I might not, like, depending on how tight our alliance becomes, like, I might not stop that from happening. Mm-hmm. But like, I would be working with her for sure. A, she's a legend. B, if any like superpowers or like audience vote or anything like that comes into play, you never know. Like, wouldn't you want to be with the fan favorite as opposed to like against the fan favorite? So people will be doing things actively against you having any success. Like, You remember what was the Alyssa like America? It wasn't America's Player. What was it called? Alyssa got it.
Yeah, I forget what it was called though too.
America's Vote, America's Player type thing. And like it benefited her for quite a while. And it was because we hated everybody else so much.
Literally. Oh, that season was brutal.
Brutal. And like speaking of that season, Andy is still so bitter that he wasn't even invited back to the All Stars.
He wasn't invited.
Well, I think that whole season has just a big X beside it.
Yeah, and he's not an all-star. He's a winner, but he's not an all-star. Sorry, but
he doesn't believe that though. He thinks that he's a very excellent winner. I hated his game.
Yeah, but like you're not going to vote for Gina Marie, so.
No, I know you. I mean, in a game for $500,000, you take the person that you can beat for sure. And so he was definitely the lesser between two evils, but I did not want him in that. There was like Helen, I want even Amanda at one point, McCrae I wanted at one point, Alyssa, like all those people I would have rather be in that final 2 seat than Andy. I know.
Yeah, Amanda brought me endless entertainment.
Who did?
Amanda,
yeah, she's so funny, like, and she just does stuff and she's entertaining.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't know if I talked to you about this, but like David in the house, he's like, oh, so like, what do we do? And he's asking us to like case her. He's like, what? And he's like, I wish we had like Monopoly up in here. Like, David. Oh, David.
It sucks because David's gonna be in the game longer, and then like all like these fucking queens are just going to get picked off, and I'm just not pleased about it. But at the same time, there's hope, and you never know what can happen. And I love when the tides turn, and like at some point, you know, there's still people within those big alliances that I can get behind. I can still get behind the Black Girl Magic Alliance. I get why they want to work with those boys, but I'm hoping that like, you know, Davon, like there's still hope for a lot of them. Yeah.
I mean, it seems as though Davon has things have kind of smoothed over a little bit with her big lie, or lies. It seems now, because Janelle doesn't understand. She's like, well, like I wouldn't have been pushing for it if I didn't think that I had the numbers. And Christmas came to me and said that Davon said, you know what I mean? And so she did say that Davon said, but it was a truth. And Davon did say that. And Davon did also say it to Janelle. Like I've heard her say it many times. And so then now it's looking like the blame is being pushed on Christmas being a little bit shady. And so now I just saw like a clip of Christmas being like, oh my God, Janelle is such a liar. Like she's making lies about me and she's spreading rumors about me. And I'm just like, she does not care about you that much. And that's not her style. It's not her style.
No.
It's not her style to go make up a rumor about somebody. She always is about the facts.
Yeah.
Christmas is like whining about Janelle, and Nicole Franzel. Have you seen all of her whines about Janelle?
Yeah, being like, oh, she gets to take her costume off, and like she brought up Corey and my showmance. Then later on, one of the other guys brought up her showmance, and she's laughing about it. And I'm like, okay, so that's fine, but like Janelle just brings up something that was on TV, and if it's on TV, like you made those choices, so we're gonna watch it. Like, and
I don't know what actually happened outside of the game, but something about goats or something. I don't know what the big story was that she was asking about. I should have looked it up. I forgot, but it was that, and then she was also asking Nicole about her social media business, because now she's a social media influencer or marketer or manager or whatever it was. She has a new title. She's no longer a nurse, something about social media. So Janelle was asking her about her job, and Nicole didn't like that. And then they're all kind of giggling and talking, and it got switched over to talking about being an influencer for dildos. And like, that was just totally offensive for Nicole. And she's like, Janelle's doing that on purpose because she doesn't want me to get any sleep. And they're laughing and they're talking about these things to try to keep me awake.
But she's only mad at Janelle. I'm like, who is Janelle speaking to and talking with? Like, there are multiple people in these situations, and I just feel like she's getting the blame for everything. And then as soon as they get rid of her, suddenly they're going to be like, oh, who's the next person we're going to blame everything on? And then it's going to all get blamed on somebody else, and it's just going to go like that. And I don't want that to happen.
I don't want that to happen at all. I mean, I didn't like Nicole Franzel before. Like, she wasn't my favorite player. I don't enjoy her presence. She's not funny. I don't like her voice. You know, I don't like her strategy. I don't like the people that she chooses for like partners. I don't like that she made Victor cut his hair or whatever their relationship, whatever happened within that relationship, his hair is cut and he's lost any sort of cuteness that he used to have. Like, I don't know, there's nothing about her that I'm like, oh my God, I need to see like Nicole Franzel on my screen again to defend her title and be a two-time winner. Like, she needs to get out of there.
If she becomes a two-time winner, I
know.
Like, I can't. I will not watch this series. Let me say this now. I will not watch this ever again if Nicole Franzel wins. If Ian became a two-time winner, he would get there by deserving it. And maybe I would actually think he deserved to win that time. I don't know. Things are up in the air. Because Ian, I think, is a good player in some ways. Whereas Nicole is just, woe is me. Everything's against me. But I'm so cute and quirky. And everybody likes me that's a boy, and every girl is against me who's also pretty. I cry all the time, but also like don't care if I backstab people. So I'm just like, there's no like,
and pretend like she doesn't backstab people. You know what I mean? It's like, just own your shit. We're always like, own your shit and we can get behind you. But she's just plays victim.
The face she puts on, it's like it's like this, like, you know, like this puppy dog face expression she always has. And I just, it really bothers me, man. I don't know.
We talked about it a little bit already, but so what do you think of the competition though? Like, so Big Brother.
It was a classic Big Brother. It was yeah, it was classic. I liked it.
They're just like, they love embarrassing these poor people. Like, they make them work for their $500,000 in terms of like the amount of embarrassment, you know, seeing like them all like riding this banana. So embarrassing, but like, it's kind of funny. So I was talking with Nick yesterday and he was trying to figure out what the theme of the season is. And I'm like, I don't know, the theme is All-Stars. Like, I don't know.
It's like Big Brother Loft. Like, it's like a lofty, like kind of first class, I think, vibe, right? No?
Like loft is in like penthouse of like a condo loft?
Yeah, right? That's what they said at the beginning.
I don't know, but like, what does this banana competition stack the fruit have to do with it?
I don't think so. The theme is, I think the theme, there's no theme within the competitions. I think the theme is just like.
Sometimes they did make it thematic.
Yeah, but like Camp BB kind of thing.
Yeah, like it was like.
Yeah, but this season is a season of new doors, like secret rooms. They said that at the beginning. It's a BB loft, and every so often new doors are going to arrive with different twists, like the safety suite's the first one. So I think it's more about that, like this home that has like mystery things that kind of come up and stuff.
I mean, I need Janelle to start feeling down walls, and she needs to she found a room once, right? Yeah, in her first season.
Yeah, she needs to find something, but I'm worried it won't happen until after the safety suite twist is done, kind of vibes. But maybe if they sense she's in trouble, they'll throw her a bone, or maybe she'll win veto, and then whoever gets put up as replacement with Kesar, because I'm assuming they'll be put up together, hopefully they can figure out a way to be like, literally, we're two people and we have nobody, and you know, but I don't think they know that there's all these other alliances happening is the problem. So
I mean, from what I've seen on the feeds and what has been shown in the episodes, they don't see what's going on. And, you know, they keep being like, well, there's no big alliance. Like, they don't see that Cody is in a big alliance and that he has any numbers. They think that Cody's a kind of a lone wolf. And it seems as though Janelle and Kesar want to team up with Cody. I mean, I'd try to team up with Cody. Like, and if he stabs you in the back.
He's not going to go for it, though.
Well, apparently he has been saying like, yeah, I mean, what else can they do, right? Everybody just lies to their face. So
yeah,
so weird. It's just like,
everyone's just shutting them out.
It's so bizarre. Like, I don't know. I would want to work with my idols. I wouldn't want to. It's not good gameplay.
they're ostracizing them, and I don't like it. I mean, it's becoming a boys club thing with like the girl that goes with the guys club again, and I don't like that. And
I don't know, I made a bunch of notes though about like I hate Kevin's campaigning and how he always started with like, I don't want to put you in a bad situation. I don't want to put you in a bad situation. Shut up. Like, if you're going to go to campaign to someone, don't point out anything negative about this, what you are doing in that moment. Like, you got to make them feel good about wanting to keep them, feel good about the conversation, feel like you got to get them pumped to want to work with you. Not like, I don't know. It's just, the tactic is just BAD, 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 bad. But I thought that it was one thing that he said to Cody was that he would use his safety suite on him if he played and won. That's huge.
Yeah, I mean, if he chooses to play.
Fair.
Right? So he can kind of play that to his advantage. And it's only the first 3 weeks. So that's only really a guarantee for that point there. So
it's a pretty big one though. I mean, I would definitely have gone for that.
Yeah, I honestly just wish that Kevin would be fiercer and would like pretend to be cool, like be cool with them, and then just like immediately put Cody up, because he could be like, well, no, I'm not, I don't want you out, but like you do the same thing to me, and like I just need to like, it looks good for me to put you up. People won't think we're working together.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Kevin became the perpetual pawn, just because like he's already experienced it once, and he's not making any deals with people that have any sort of power. Like he's in an alliance of some sort with Nicole A. Some things they're working together.
She has no power though. Once again.
Yeah. Exactly. It's like, oh, I feel really good about this. Like, what do you feel really good about? Like, feel good about somebody that's willing, that would be fighting for you. Kevin would drop you like a hot potato if it had to do with saving his own butt. Janelle would not do that. If you guys are in an alliance together and she won a veto, she would always use it on you. She would have used a veto on Keisha if she were playing and if she won. Yeah. And that's who that you want to be working with, is somebody that when you guys are a team, she will protect you and she wins stuff.
And she would, and she wins stuff. Like, I don't know why. If enough people threw her like a bone for a real alliance, she would have their back. I don't know, man. Cody is so lucky right now. He just has everybody up his ass, and like everybody wants to work with him. And like now that Memphis won HOH, it's like now it's once again they're fucking smooth sailing. They're smooth sailing.
I think everybody shimmered because she's so beautiful. Like she's very pretty. I think that people are like, they threatened, because even Danny is threatened by Janelle, and any sort of person that they think that she is like, they're giving her those attributes. So if they've met somebody that was a snobby or mean to somebody or spoke down to somebody that was beautiful like Janelle was, they're saying that Janelle is like that. And I think that she's just like everybody's punching bag for somebody that may look like her, that have treated them maybe not that kindly in the past.
Totally.
So bad. It's kind of like, I don't know why it keeps on popping up, but you know, like how we always say that police officers, you know, they're bullied in high school, so they can come and like, I feel like they're just getting their like aggression out on like the hot girl in high school.
Oh yeah, totally.
They have the power now. Like, let's make her feel how I felt all these years. And it's like, she's like, I haven't even done anything to you. Yeah. In that episode too, Enzo catches Nicole, Ian, and Ian talking. So I was
hoping that would lead to something. I was hoping that would lead to like them not trusting Nicole.
That's what I would have thought. And like, Nicole isn't trustworthy. She's such a snake. And yeah, it didn't lead to anything. But hopefully though, like Enzo just having that like, you know, in his head that like maybe to keep an eye on Nicole. But she doesn't even want to necessarily work with Ian, because like if her and Ian ever go on the block, she knows that she would be safe and Ian would go home. That's as far as I think she wants to work with them. I don't think
I think she does see him as a great backup plan. As she said, this is my backup plan. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's smarter to be with him because he's the only other winner. Like that actually is very logical. If
They
you
do
have
need
two
to be at
people
the end
who are
with each other.
winners, then you got to crown someone twice. Okay, here's all the things that I did. Nicole can be like, look at all the alliances I was in from day one. I had a thing with Cody. I had a thing with Ian. I was in this 6. I was invited at all the things. Like she could really speak well against someone like Ian. So like she could say I was more aware of what's going on in the game because she is right now.
Yep.
And it sucks to say, like it always sucks to say, but it's just the truth. And I hope that like people get wind of it and are able to get rid of her. But I don't think that's going to happen until they get rid of Janelle. Honestly, if I have to be honest.
Yeah, maybe Janelle will get rid of Franzel though. She might be able to find.
I would love that, but I don't even.
Friends will just be like, I think she's coming after me, and like she's like, I don't know, like she's always talking down to me, and like I'm just like, she doesn't care about you that much, but the fact that you are actively coming after her, she's going to retaliate. She doesn't want people in the house that are actively coming for her. So I mean, I really would. I'd love it if Franzel got taken out by Janelle. That'd be beautiful. Beautiful. Now, at the end of that episode, they changed the music like a couple seasons ago, and I hate it. Have you noticed it?
No, I didn't notice.
So there was a certain music at the end that was like, it just always reminded me of Big Brother, where it would go in slow-mo and it would go like black and white and slow-mo or something. It would just change the color or whatever of it. And it would be the slow motion music for after the veto ceremony. It would always, and then now it's this new music that's just different. I'm going to show you, I'll send you an example later and you'll be like, oh my God. But yeah, I just wrote down that I don't like the new music. I want the old music back. Because it was like for like 15 years, it was the same, well, similar music. Anyways, okay, so let's get to this episode for tonight. I was really, really nervous. Like I knew that Keisha was going to be going, but I knew that it was going to be do or die for Janelle and Kaser and this head of household competition. We've kind of already talked a bit about what went on before in the episode, but no surprise to anybody. Keisha was voted out, unanimous vote, 13-0. I thought it was funny though, how she had to put on her mask to go out and sit 12 feet away from Julie. But then Julie
that was weird. And then Julie wasn't wearing a mask.
I understand.
So it's like you're there to protect. Anyways, yeah.
I know, I didn't get it. Anyways, I thought that I wish she had a little bit more fight and a little bit more sass. And I know she's obviously matured a little bit and like she doesn't necessarily want to come off, like that's not who she is fully anymore, but I would have wanted to see a little bit more fight in her. And even Janelle, I don't know if it was on the episode or in the feeds, was just like, you know, if it were 15 years ago, I would have been screaming off the balcony trying to save Keisha, but now she knows not to go that far, even though she's being treated as though she's been going that far. But I don't know. How do you feel about how Keisha exited?
Yeah, I was sad. I was just sad. I love Keisha, and I don't think she really got a fair shot, to be honest. But she didn't fight hard enough. I agree.
Do you think that Cody got any blood on his hands this this head of household?
No, he's swimming fine. He has no enemies at all. Even the people he's against want to work with him. Like he's in the best position right now, unfortunately.
And I would think that, you know, the Black Girl Magic Alliance wouldn't want to be siding with the cis white male who could possibly take away the prize from them. You know what I mean?
I know.
Like, I would just feel as though, yes, I get it. You know, you want to be able to work with people who are strong. They're going to bring you further down the road.
Well, then they'll win at the end and they're not going to take you.
Anyways, it's really frustrating because there's so many people of color within the house and people, you know, I don't know. I definitely didn't want a woman to go first. I definitely didn't want a person of color to go first, but that was the two options that Cody put up, you know, to people kind of in a minority, an older woman and a person of color. So those are his who he feels are expendable. He doesn't need to have, they don't suit his game. And that's also a little bit distasteful to me that they're not even recognizing that, like, he's getting rid of all the diversity, you know?
And making an alliance of all the white people.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so frustrating. So what do you think of the Cody and Memphis alliance name, though? The Commission.
Whatever. Yeah.
I know it's like
I'm
mafia
not a huge
talk.
fan of them, honestly. Like, I mean, I'm more impressed with Memphis's gameplay right now, at least, than Cody. But I just like, yeah, it's some broy name, the Commission, but we're like older and cooler. Like, cool.
I know I want to like them, but like I think though too, because I'm so anti Polly that like now when I see Cody, I can see Polly in him, and
Yeah, they look so similar.
I'm just like, like before I could keep you separate. I was like, oh, the Cody's the nice one, and now I'm like, no, I see your Polliness. I see it.
Yeah.
I see it, and I don't like it. I don't like him.
Yeah, me either.
I think he's decently attractive though, but I think when out of the people in the house, I think that I still find Enzo the hottest. Who do you think? Oh wait, you were standing Cody. Was it you or was it Tanya?
Tanya. I mean, I think he's attractive, I guess, but I guess I would go for, yeah, probably Enzo.
He's so goofy. It's so funny.
Yeah.
He had a good moment on the feeds with Davon, and they were just like joking around and cracking up, and like I like when people are funny and like just lighten the mood. It was a good moment. You should try to find it if you can.
Yeah.
It was last night, them just like hanging out, and I think it was in the Have Not room, and they were cute. I was like, oh wait, you're both single, maybe. There was but okay, so other rumors though on the feeds are maybe that David and Davon might have a thing going. I would say no, because like I don't think that David is a man enough for Davon. No, he's just too passive, I think, for most people, but he's an attractive human being.
Yeah.
But imagine. I mean, that would be the most interesting thing that David could do was come in a showmance with Davon.
Totally.
Yeah, I don't think he could do anything more interesting than that. So what else we got? Kevin and Nicole have a final 2. Womp womp. Like you're not gonna be able to get there. Like you need people that are better at the game than you two. I wanted to be on Nicole A's side. I really did. And she's let me down so much. The fact that she just like takes everything that Janelle says and goes and runs it to the people that she should be against. The people that would put her on a block in a heartbeat. Like, yes, Kevin. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I just agreeing with you. Absolutely.
It's just such a bad read. Like Janelle is being genuine. She's using her expensive makeup on your face and doing her like painting your face with her. Like she's taking that time, whether it's strategy or not, she's still doing that. And it's like, I don't know, appreciate the real moments instead of creating ones that don't actually exist.
You know, it's so sad.
It's so sad. Okay, so the new big alliances: Cody, Memphis, Danny, Nicole, Christmas, and Tyler. Yeah, the totally cis male female alliance. White folk. They're gonna do really well.
Yeah,
they're gonna do really well, and because they have so many strong players. Like Tyler wins stuff. Christmas, don't know if she wins stuff, but she's strong. Like she definitely won the first part of like the opening competition. Nicole Franzel, I don't really remember her game stat.
She wins a lot.
She does?
Yeah. Anything with smart stuff.
Danny wins stuff. Memphis, as we learned at the end of this episode, he wins stuff. No, that's his first head of household, though, apparently. Which
yeah,
is
but
hilarious.
He won so many vetoes.
Probably.
I think.
And Cody wins stuff.
Yeah.
That's a dominant. If what's her name? Sorry, Bailey and Davon were in that alliance, then I could get behind it. But they're in like the B team of the alliances.
They are the B team. But that means Cody and Memphis might decide to flip to the B team later on. You know what I mean? Like when the numbers start to dwindle, they can use them to get the other people out.
I just don't see them working with Bailey and Devon more closely than with Danny and Franzel.
Yeah, probably not, but you know.
I just don't see it. Don't see it. So there was a plant-based KFC commercial. Did you see that? Like, I don't know what you were watching it on.
I don't remember. I wasn't paying attention to the commercials, to be honest, but
I'm interested because when I used to eat meat, I liked Kentucky Fried Chicken's gravy. And so I'm wondering if they're able to figure out how to make that gravy, because I'm sure it was just like chicken fat. And like with this, like, I don't know, fake chicken thing. I'm interested because I haven't had KFC in probably 30 years. I wouldn't mind trying it. So the commercial worked. I'm interested in trying this plant-based KFC chicken burger thingy.
Maybe they'll sponsor you.
Sponsor me. So another thing too that I was disappointing about people's games is that they didn't do their homework, as you know, that I always complain about. Keisha didn't know who Tyler was. Like,
that was
clue. Yeah. Get a clue.
And see, Janelle knows what's up. Like how Janelle was like, you should probably know who he is. Like, you're on All Stars. You knew you were going on All Stars and you didn't even go back and watch the last few seasons.
Like, I watched the last few seasons just to talk about one. Like, when I was talking about Janelle, I went and watched so much Janelle footage so I can talk about Janelle. If I was going to play a season with Janelle, I would have studied up on every single person's season.
Yeah,
big time.
definitely.
Big time. People are just weak. I mean, maybe she's just content with getting that 40 grand. Do you think that David got the 40 grand?
What 40 grand?
Apparently, appearance fee.
It's 40 grand for everyone?
Yeah. Well, the All-Stars, but do you think he was included in that?
I'm sure it was lesser fee. I'm sure it wasn't the same.
Like, is he a get?
I'm sure it's like there's tiers of like the first round of people they asked, and then like, we're going to offer you. Like, I'm sure there's negotiations depending, because like a lot of those people have like managers and stuff. For sure. And I guess to be like enticed to come back and play. So maybe David said yes, like right away. And they're probably like, I don't know if I'm coming back. How about 40 grand? Sure. Now, one thing that you can speculate on this with me is that did I hear it on the feed or I read it? I read somebody that transcribed some of the feeds, and they said, and Janelle asked production if she's to be voted out within the first few weeks, would she be able to still go home to her family? And they said, no, expect mid-September. So this is leading people to believe that there's going to be a battle back of some sort. But then from what Julie was saying, it seemed as though Keisha was done, kind of cut dry. And then Rob from Rob as a Podcast says that he has an exit interview lined up for tomorrow, as well as some other podcast people. So do you think that it'll be specific guidelines and it's like a Zoom call in kind of thing and, you know, not talking about certain things? Or do you think, like, what do you think? Yeah, it's probably on Zoom and probably like, just an exit interview, but she's probably still secluded or something.
Do you think that there's going to be a battle back?
Maybe not a battle back, maybe a vote, maybe like a twist.
If it would be a vote. It would 100% be a vote. It would be a vote because then we can get Janelle.
Yeah, of course. Or like, what if it's like, there's so many things it could be. So many things. And that excites me.
Well, it's kind of like, I don't like twists, but like she has everything stacked against her that like, I just want her to help just to go and bash down some of these idiots. Like, I'm just so not into their gameplay.
Yeah, absolutely.
The anti-Janelle is their gameplay. It's just not smart to me.
I agree.
We're just going to be saying that over and over and over again. You're like, but they're just acting so dumb. What else happened this episode? Anything else good?
I think we covered most of it. I mean, as a whole, I'm just excited to see what goes on this week, what transpires, who does a safety suite, if anybody does it. And like, maybe no one will do it because they're like going to assume that Janelle and Kesa are going up, you know? So like, There's some layers to this shit,
You think
and
that Memphis is just gonna go, like, it doesn't make any sense for Memphis to go against Janelle and Kaysar. You don't put up people that are never coming for you. They're never coming for Memphis.
I understand, but he has other ties. I could see him putting up.
I'm hoping it's like a Nicole A and David.
Yeah,
Or I think he's kind of feeling iffy about Ian.
I could see him trying to put up Nicole A, Ian, yeah, any of David, any of those side people, and then telling them, oh, maybe I'll backdoor Janelle or Kaysar, and like telling them that, and then just kind of seeing how things kind of pan out. Maybe.
I just don't think it's smart for, like, the old school has to stay together. Why do they not see this?
It never works.
It just happened on Survivor. It just happened.
I know.
They have to stick together or else they're going to be doomed.
Yeah.
Even if you have an alliance, like, their alliance is like, I think that they think that they're still young and cool. Like, no, you're the old people. You are the enemy. Like, they're gonna get you out before them. It's just how it is. People group together and they say the people that are most like them or that they like. It's just human nature. And sorry, Enzo, sorry, Memphis, but you're not 28 anymore. Like, you're not young like Cody. You can't hang with Cody no more. What am I talking about here? Oh, the goodbye messages were kind of womp womp. I was hoping that they'd be a little more interesting. I'm disappointed a bit in Memphis for not standing up for Keisha. They're on the same season. It's not beneficial for him.
Really.
He wasn't voting for her ever to stay. The episode did make it seem as though there was a chance that Keisha was staying, but there was no chance that she was staying.
No. For days, it's been very obvious.
None. But in that head of household competition, I was so scared. And like, at least like when Janelle lost, I was decently okay with the people that were left. They weren't people that are going to be super gung-ho for Janelle.
Yeah, I was happy that Nicole F didn't win.
Yeah, I didn't want Nicole F to win. I didn't even want Bailey or Davon to win because they seemed to just have a misread on the situation. And like, they are, well, definitely Davon is known to kind of go after her own people. So like, just keep the power out of her hands because she doesn't know how to deal with it.
She does not do well with power. Oh my gosh. She needs to not have the power and just socialize. Like, that's where she wins. That's where she's great.
Yeah, because she's not, like, I don't think anybody wants to get her out right now. So her and Bailey are in quite a good position in that sense.
Yeah.
I think that they could ride the middle. They just need to stop like pushing any agendas. Like, they just need to listen more and just like be ears. And because I was getting really worried for Davon this past week. I was like, man, she's gonna get herself in some hot water. So okay, so who do you think that Memphis is gonna put up?
If I had to guess, I would say, just want to think of all the people.
Well, we kind of talked about this, but like, legit.
I would guess, yeah, my official guesses would be Nicole A and David, with a potential backdoor situation of Janelle or something. But I think he's going to probably try to avoid that if possible. But yeah, I think that's what's going to be the case. And because he kind of has things with most other people in the house right now.
Yep. And Nicole A does not seem to know how to campaign. I don't know who mentioned
threat. She's not a threat. David is not a threat. They're not really like, no one's going to rally for them. Except for Janelle might actually rally for Nicole A, actually, funnily enough. But
rally for Nicole A. And then, you know what? In that sense, though, if she rallies for Nicole A, I think it would be good because it would show Nicole A that Janelle's on her side. You know what I mean? Like, she wants her to be there. And it would be terrible if another girl went.
Yeah, I know. I hate when this happens.
No matter what, though, it's actually pretty interesting. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm loving reading the feeds. I'm loving all of that. So lots of exciting stuff.
Though, I'm hoping that Janelle's going to be okay. Like, I think that she's in a better position than she was with Cody. So that's good. Hopefully things can get ironed out. Christmas is in that group. I was like, let's get rid of Christmas. But no, Christmas is in the all white folk alliance.
That's what they're called now.
Wait, is that the closer? The C loser group?
Yeah.
There's a group, I don't know which alliance it is, but they're like, let's call it the closers. And then what's his name? What's the surfer boy's name?
Tyler?
Tyler was like the C losers. I'm like, yeah, C losers. That's what I want the name to be. Well, thanks for chatting me about this episode right here and live. Just getting it out there. First thoughts. I really hope that the feeds are good, and I hope that Janelle can get herself out of this predicament. She might need to have to call a house meeting or something. Get it all out there.
Do it.
House meeting. Like, I want people to come and say and accuse her to her face of all the things, and she could be like, "That wasn't me. That wasn't me. That was Danielle. That was fun."
Anyway, but I'd still love that.
You don't think it was gonna happen?
No, I just said they wouldn't believe her anyway, but I still would love her to do that.
Well, I don't know if people could be able to lie so blatantly in front of everybody else, because people would start to see some of the truths within it. You know what I mean? Like, be like, well, she did say that to me, or she did say that to me, or you know what I mean? Like, I think that it might expose some things. Fingers crossed for a house. I can't believe I want a house meeting right now to save my girl Janelle, but oh, she's in a tough spot. She doesn't even know how tough a spot she's in.
No.
But I'm still rooting for her as always. I love Janelle. Hope she can get to at least to the jury. That'd be my fingers crossed. Anyways, thanks for chatting, Michelle. Thanks for hanging out with us, talking about our favorite thing ever, Big Brother. Make sure you subscribe right down below, hit the like button, ring that notification bell so you can be notified every time we have a live episode or we have a new episode that you'll be notified for. You can find me at Reality Realness with 3 S's or at ShanFranFran on Instagram. Michelle, where can people find you?
I'm just on Instagram at Mish Nash with 3 H's.
Sweet. See you guys very, very soon. Take care. Bye.
Bye.